and they do want some way to access that information. And I do not think it's a hard concept for folks in the state to understand.
If the Secretary of State is not going to enforce the rule, then this part of the MBR doesn't really have any effect. Is that right?
Well, certainly the Secretary of State can say a lot of things. Obviously, as a constitutional office holder, it's his obligation to enforce the law, and if he's not enforcing the law, folks could seek an injunction to force him to enforce the law.
But it's just an administrative rule, though.
It is an administrative rule, but it's still an administrative rule that he's required to follow. So, I think, again, the idea that you have constitutional office holders who are saying that they don't have to follow the rules is certainly something that the public should be made aware of, and the idea that we could then force accountability and responsibility with respect to these dollars is the sort of thing that I think the taxpayers are going to demand.
Is that being discussed, forcing him to enforce that rule? Is that something you guys are?
I think we're discussing it right now, but that's a conversation to continue.
Would that be something that you guys would want to pursue?
I think, clearly, we think that the idea of where's campaign money coming from, how are state contracts being spent, how are incentives being spent, there needs to be accountability and transparency with respect to those dollars moving forward, and that we need to look at whether or not you really should be able to be making contributions in the same year you're getting contracts out of the state. And so, I don't think that this issue is going away anytime soon. I think this is going to be a very substantial issue as it relates to making sure government officials are ultimately accountable to the people who pay their salaries, that being the taxpayers, as opposed to just accountable to those who are making campaign contributions to them.
Representative Hoffman in the floor debate mentioned that the rule has some